So what did you learn from this?
Don't get in fights in the back of the church bus in front of your pastor. Do it in front of anybody else, but not in front of your pastor.
I think maybe the right takeaway would be don't get in fights.
Just don't get in a fight in general.
Don't be a jerk. Don't get in fights.
I don't even know what it was over. We just started wailing at each other. I guess wailing.
Ethan, you look like a face that's been hit several times. Hey, what's up, Awaken? Welcome back to episode 2, numero dos of the Awaken podcast. Man, we're so glad that you're joining us today. We're going to highlight a couple of things today, but before we get into that, man, I've got a couple of our interns and one of our students with us today. We've got Evan Sandwich.
Hello.
We've got Turd E-Money over here, Ethan, and then we've got Mr. Bryson Peck with us today.
Woo!
He's our student highlight. Man, we're just excited about this podcast today, so thanks for tuning in with us. Hey, share this podcast on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Snapchat.
Everything.
Share it away, every social media outlet. Text the link to your friends, your family.
Your grandma.
Get the word, your grandma.
Your dog.
Listen, does your grandma Snapchat?
She doesn't Snapchat. She Instagrams.
Instagrams.
Yeah.
Okay. My grandma's dead.
My grandma has a flip phone, so.
My grandma's dead, so.
Well,
so she doesn't. She doesn't Snapchat.
She dead grams.
She did grams. Oh my God! Today is National Pandemonium Day.
So youth group day.
Basically, it is National Youth Group Day because let's face it. Every youth group is pandemonium on Youth Group Day. All the time. From ripping shorts to slip and sliding. Shout out to Josh Landry. Hope your hamstring gets better, buddy. We love you. Thanks for joining us on Awaken Wednesday.
Thanks for being on my team.
Before we go any further, let's talk a second about kickball last Wednesday. Okay,
that was so much fun.
So how about that? That is hands down the greatest sports comeback
of all time.
I know. We still lost.
Without winning.
We still lost.
Without winning.
But I mean, we came back.
We had 8 players to y'all's 20.
Devastated the upset.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
But I explained this. Remember, you guys had your best players up more often because you guys didn't have those.
But your team was still stacked throughout the lineup. You had a college athlete on your team. I don't want to hear it.
Not anymore.
You had 2 old men. One of them got hurt. Literally.
We had
still limping to this day.
We had one softball player. She didn't even play.
Oof.
I just know how to pick my team. I'm a good GM. That's why I say I'm a good GM.
Yeah. I mean, you picked me. It had to be a good team.
Yeah, I got Clay and Bryson. I got Clay and Bryson.
Yeah, both of them.
Both are sure-handed with lead foots, dude.
You should have picked me, man.
I know. I was like,
you did have a mean lead foot, man. That thing was in the outfield every time.
Oh, that was my brother. My brother kicked it over to the.
Yeah, but like.
Well, I mean, both y'all, man. Athletes.
I feel like you guys play kickball a lot.
We used to play it like all the time.
Dude, I could see it.
It shines through on the field, baby. So National Pandemonium Day, Youth Group Day. Shout out to every youth group out there making it happen, reaching kids for Jesus. Tonight is Christmas in July. Yes, we are celebrating not the fat man, but the baby man in the manger tonight. we are celebrating Christmas in July. I've always wanted to do this, and so tonight we are going to do this in youth tonight. We have Christmas dinner in the cafe. It's going to be sick. We've got chicken and stuffing. It is going to be awesome.
On the topic of Christmas, what is your favorite Christmas movie?
My favorite Christmas movie? Ooh, man. Home Alone is good, man. The first 2 Home Alones, hands down. But A Christmas Story is good, too.
Yeah. Evan?
Die Hard.
Oh,
Die Hard.
There you go.
Great movies, man.
Our family has always been up for Christmas Vacation.
Christmas Vacation is so good, man. My favorite part is when he gets stuck in the attic and he's just like going through all the. And he comes home wearing all the stuff from the.
I like it when they bring the tree home. And they get in the driveway. It's my favorite.
Or when is it the cat that chews through the cord and catches the house on fire and it like ruins.
Mine's probably Elf. You can't beat Will Ferrell. Just can't beat Will Ferrell.
You cannot be. Look, there's not many like bad Christmas movies. No. You know what I'm saying? Like, most Christmas movies are
pretty good.
Are iconic. They're not just good; they're iconic movies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Elf is so good.
You can watch Elf year round.
We did a Christmas party one time when I was in youth group, and it was an Elf themed party, and we literally had like spaghetti and syrup and all the stuff like that. All the stuff he ate. It was funny.
I've only watched Elf once.
Once. It's pretty good.
That's all it takes.
He doesn't want to lose the magic of seeing it for the first time.
Right.
I get it. I understand.
It's like, yeah. All right.
But so Christmas in July tonight. It's going to be awesome. We're having a Christmas sweater / t-shirt contest. Decorate your Christmas sweater, your Christmas t-shirt. Don't tell Pastor Mark, but we're going to have the AC cranked down to make it feel like Christmas. We're going to have the Christmas trees everywhere. We're going to have Christmas trees everywhere. We're going to have Christmas presents. Decorating the room. So it's going to be fun. Bring your friends. We're going to have sugar cookies that everybody gets to decorate. Like, we're going all out. Sing some Christmas carols. It's going to be legit. It's going to be fun. So don't miss it this Wednesday, 7 o'clock. Come early, 6:30, when our youth group starts. Hanging out, playing games.
In the morning if you want. Just show up.
You might be the only one there at 6 o'clock in the morning. But be there, come early. You wait in line. So let's talk about, since it's, big news this week, let's talk about UFC, the Conor McGregor fight.
Most unathletic thing that I've ever seen in my life.
Evan, what's your takeaway?
I'm now a Dustin Poirier fan, so Conor McGregor kind of lost me.
Now, listen,
You've seen legs snap in UFC,
Oh,
but they're never by a punch. By taking a punch. It's always throwing a kick.
It wasn't even that he got punched. It was he threw a punch, missed, stepped back, and his ankle snapped.
I didn't watch the fight because I was at a pool party.
Oh yeah,
Pulling it up. But I went back and obviously saw it on all social media, everywhere, and the pictures of this ankle that's kicked out to a 90-degree. I mean, it was terrible. I can't imagine.
And he gave
the pain.
He gave a whole post-fight interview, calm.
Really?
Yeah, after.
See, he definitely had to be on something. Like, steroids were coursing through his veins.
Or harder drugs.
Or he shotgunned as many Red Bulls or Monsters as possible. Adrenaline was pumping through this man's body.
I feel like he could have finished the fight if they would have let him. He would have tried to.
Dude, there's trash talk.
That reminds me of like with his broken foot. Reminds me. You guys ever seen Monty Python: The Search for the Holy Grail?
I've seen clips.
Maybe.
I've seen the one
where the dude's walking.
Tis but the flesh wound. And the guy's like his arm.
Oh yeah.
He's like, gushing.
Yes.
I'll bleed on you. Come here. Classic. So, in light of the fight, we were talking a little bit earlier, telling Bryson, my fight memory. First of all, I have 3 sisters, and I'm the oldest. So I have never been in a fight in my life. But when I was in college, I did a little bit of jiu-jitsu, UFC, like just for fun with a bunch of guys get together, and this guy I worked with was a black belt jiu-jitsu, so he trained and we worked out.
So you're like a black belt.
So I'm like, what is before a white belt? Whatever that is, that's what I am.
I don't think there is one.
But so there's a little bit of fighting experience. But what is the craziest or coolest or wildest fight you've ever seen? Like this one time when I was in high school, this friend of mine, this homeless guy came up and was obviously intoxicated and was just causing a big scene. And a friend of mine, he would not said, "Hey man, you need to leave from here." All this stuff. Anyway, the dude ended up punching him and knocking him out, and it was this big thing. The guy was had to go to the hospital and stuff. But one time at school, I was at McAllister, and this girl grabbed this other girl by the hair and whooped out a knife, and we're all like, "Fight, fight, fight!" And not a knife, sorry. She whooped out some scissors. We're all like, "Fight, fight, fight!" And then she whooped out scissors, and everybody's like, "Oh!" And she cut the girl's hair off, looked like a whole side of her hair,
like Indian scalpage,
sharp scissors, man. You know what I'm saying?
You can't do that. That's a cheap
Sandwich.
shot.
What is the craziest fight you've ever seen or have ever been in?
So, my first gateway, what we used to go to before Camp Wow, me and my best friend Devin Hoffman got into a fight on the back of the church bus. in front of everybody. Gavin Guthrie had to come in there and break it up. And this was before Gavin was a real big man.
This is
it was
before,
chubby 13-year-old Gavin.
Gavinator.
This was before the BFG, and it was crazy. It wasn't even crazy. You know, it was two 14-year-olds getting into it. I mean,
y'all were basically slapping each
yeah,
other.
like,
Stop it!
Yeah.
Stop it!
And it was the only reason it's crazy was it was back of a church bus, and it was actually from that Mark learned my name.
Is that how you got the name Sandwich?
No,
I'm just kidding. I know how you got the
That's
name. I know
that's
how you
for
got the
another
name Sandwich. That is for another
He
podcast.
talked to me. He came down. He's like, "Listen," and I was like, "It's Evan." He's like, "Evan, you have to talk to Devin about and get this calmed down because we have 3 more days left." And so like.
So it's on the way to camp. On the way to camp.
No. It was our first service. Going into the first
okay.
service. Like it was 5 minutes after that fight was over.
So
we were sitting worshiping.
What did you learn from this?
Don't get in fights in the back of the church bus in front of your pastor. Do it in front of anybody else, but not in front of your pastor.
I think maybe the right takeaway would be don't get in fights.
Just don't get in a fight in general.
Or just don't do it.
Don't be a jerk. Don't get in fights.
I don't even know what it was over. We just started wailing at each other. I guess wailing.
Ethan, you look like a face that's been hit several times.
I have been hit.
Have you been in any
I have
fights?
2 little brothers, so I've just been hit in the face multiple times. No, not really. I've punched people, but I've never been in a fight. Yeah.
I threw some punches.
Yeah, I've done a punch or 2, but I've never been in a fight.
You want to talk about what happens after those punches are thrown?
No.
Ethan wakes up on the ground.
What happened?
If it doesn't last longer than 5 seconds, it's not a fight. Okay. It wasn't my. I have multiple stories, but probably the worst one I've heard is Reagan when she was at Peterball, my sister, and in 7th and 8th grade. One of her first days there, a kid got thrown through the window in the middle of a fight.
Through the window?
Yes, through the window. And I asked people about it, and they're like, "Yes, this actually happened." Like teachers.
Dude got thrown through a window.
Yes.
Wow.
That's insane.
At Peterball, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. It's like, what window did he get thrown out of that Peterball? Like, it's insane. Oh.
The worst fight I've ever been in was with my brother. I mean, because I'm homeschooled, I'm not public schooled.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Don't see a lot of people, but
Craziest fight at school.
Yeah.
Crazy. Worst fight in school of all time.
My brother would take wet towels and snap me with them.
Oh.
Ooh.
So
fighting words right there.
And then
Them are fighting words.
I go and I tackle him, but that's
that's
the best I could do because I'm the younger brother. I can't do anything else.
Just go for the legs.
I don't know, man. I've seen these guns right here are working out.
Yeah.
So speaking of Bryson's guns, it is getting ready to kick off the Olympics at the end of this month, right? The
2021.
July 21st, is it 20th or 21st?
I don't think we ever
We will be at camp.
It's 21st or 22nd.
21st, 22nd.
Yeah.
And so because we're talking about the Olympics, so Cammie and I, one of our favorite Olympic events is gymnastics. You guys keep up with gymnastics at all?
I keep up with
Simone Biles, obviously
Simone
Bryson. Simone Biles is a beast. You're not just a gymnast. You have moves that are named after you. She is crazy. If you haven't watched her, go YouTube right now. Pause this. Go YouTube Simone Biles. Watch her her stunts and stuff she does.
And then come back.
She did one at the qualifying earlier this year, and it's just amazing to watch.
She does triple doubles and it's higher than the ceiling.
It's crazy.
It's insane.
Triple doubles.
And then there's several other.
It's like triple twists and a double.
There's a show on Netflix about these gymnasts. About several of these. No, it's not. They're gymnasts, not cheerleaders. But they're gymnasts.
They're the same people that did Last Chance U.
No, it's different. It's about this documentary about these gymnasts making it, practicing and training for the Olympics. And man, it is really good, and it takes you into kind of their routine and their practice. And so, before we started, I was talking to Bryson. He is a gymnast. What gym do you go to?
I go to McAllister Elite Gymnastics Academy, but I've moved around 4 gyms. So.
Okay, yeah. How long have you been a gymnast?
For almost 10 years. I've been doing this since I was 5.
Dude, that's pretty sick.
It's almost longer than I've been alive.
Almost longer than I've been alive. That's longer than Turd's been able to do anything. We already know he doesn't like riding bikes. So.
Listen, I can't.
That's another
Evan
podcast.
can't write.
That's for another podcast. So what is your daily gym routine?
Well, I usually just get there and do a couple minutes before practice stretching, so I don't get any major injuries. But then I do like a little warm up, conditioning, and then I get to my gymnastics events. But I usually start off with a couple routines for my gymnastics, and then new skills that I haven't gotten yet. I work on those after I do.
What is your favorite, like,
Event?
what is your favorite event? Like,
Favorite event is high bar.
high bar.
High bar is my favorite event.
Is that the one where you like go
It's-
between all the bars?
No, that's parallel bars.
that's-
The high bar
yeah.
is like the singular metal bar.
And men
That
don't
you
do
do
the
giants on.
uneven bars. That's
No.
just a
That's
women's
the
event.
woman's thing.
Do you do the? I'm trying to remember what they're called. The
The rings.
rings. Do you do the rings?
Yeah, I do the rings, but they're not one of my favorites.
That is so impressive. Like watching those dudes do the rings, and these guys are jacked. I mean, they have to be. They're sneaking, holding their arms out like this, holding up,
like 30 seconds
150,
plus.
200 pounds. You know, it's just amazing. Do you do the horse at all?
Yes,
Like
I do the pommel horse.
pommel horse? I was in gymnastics.
Boy, that's a killer.
Oh, you're kidding me.
I was in gymnastics, man.
No.
I took gymnastics
On
when I
your
was
life, you were in
probably
gymnastics.
10 or 11, and I played Boys and Girls Club sports all growing up. And I was in gymnastics. My sister was in gymnastics, and it got to the point where I was like old enough to be on a team, and so it was going to take more time practicing. Well, I was also in Boy Scouts and 4-H and church choir and different things like that. So I opted into do more. My parents said you had to choose. It was like at that point where you had to choose.
I had to go through the same thing.
It was either like sport, like basketball, baseball,
Like the regular sport. Like, no, I'm not
like
saying
basketball,
regular, but, like,
baseball, or
school
I could
sports.
do in Boy Scouts, or I could do like Boy Scouts and gymnastics.
Yeah.
And so I chose basketball just because that's my family.
I had to
eats
choose.
celebrity.
I had to choose between gymnastics, baseball, soccer, or Boy Scouts. I had like each year I had to eliminate one.
Well, the older you get, the more time it takes,
Yeah.
concentrated and training, and
I think the first thing that I eliminated was soccer, and then Boy Scouts, then baseball, and so I've just been on this.
That was
same
similar to
road.
me. The first thing I eliminated was I stayed with Boy Scouts, and then was gymnastics, and then soccer, and then baseball, and then I played football in high school. But man, I'll tell you what, there is no other athlete like a gymnast. Hands down, I will argue that point till the day that I die. Not just the muscle, but like to be able to do
The balance.
the balance and the athleticism it takes to do each event is just
It's by far the hardest sport.
I would believe it. I mean, there's so much muscle control. Like you have to be able to control your muscles and your movement. Whereas other sports, basketball, football, soccer, baseball, like you can be a little sloppy in your technique.
Yeah.
Obviously if
Like,
you're
I
not,
play basketball. Like, come on.
and you can be sloppy in your technique.
Like, I'm living proof that you can.
Yeah, because I mean, like in gymnastics, you use the smallest muscles to be able to do things. Like you have to like the little tiny muscles and like your shins. You still use those. You have to use those for vaulting and
Ouch.
stuff like that.
All I think of is shin splints.
Oh, I get those a lot.
What is the biggest move, or I don't know if that's the best word. What is the biggest like move skill that you've been able to pull off successfully?
The biggest thing that I've been able to pull off successfully was a double back on the floor.
Double backflip on the floor?
Yes. Either that or a laid out souk on parallel bars. I mean, not parallel bars, vault.
Well,
On vault.
that's crazy, man. That is so cool. I really enjoy like watching it. And we sat the other day and went back and watched the Olympic trials again because we caught the last half of it. So we went back and watched the first half of it, and it's just mesmerizing, and it's just crazy. just seeing the flips and the parallel bars on the women's side of gymnastics is just how can you flip from one bar and then make it to another? Like
It's called uneven bars. Just
uneven, not parallel.
Because you have the small one, then you have
uneven.
That's why they're.
Oh yeah, parallel bars are the ones that are.
Yeah,
okay, that's right.
they're uneven. But actually, gymnastics for men's and women's used to be parallel bars. Like for uneven bars, they would just raise up one side of the bar for women's gymnastics uneven bars. But that was like many years ago.
Did you know that y'all maybe not know this, but one of the best gymnast coaches in probably the world is from Oklahoma? Did you know that?
I didn't even know that.
You didn't know that? Yeah, she's from Oklahoma. I cannot remember her name. Cammie keeps up with her, but I believe she coached at OU Women's Gymnastics or something like that. But anyway, for Oklahoma, repping it strong. As a matter of fact, she gave the announcement at the Olympic trials. The lady who announced the teams or what announced the teams' names. She's the one that announced, at least on the girls team. Mm-hmm. So she's pretty big. So repping Oklahoma. Shout out whoever you are. You know who you are. Can't even remember your name.
Too bad we didn't Google it.
Oh, so I'd said at camp we're gonna have to have something set up so where we could watch the Summer Olympics. Man, it's just such a huge deal, and you see all the pride of our country and see these athletes who are competing. And it is really, to me, like, I'm a really patriotic person. And it's emotional watching the opening ceremonies. Like, especially when the red, white, and blue Old Glory comes by, man. It just puts you right in the feels, man.
America.
Those are my people. America. Oh, man. Awaken. Don't forget to share this on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Share this link. We're so glad that you joined us. Bryson Peck in the house today, and we are ready to go. Camp Wow is coming up July 21st through the 24th, and we will be sharing camp stories on the next episode of the Awaken podcast. Give it up for our interns.
I said we may be filming from camp.
We may be filming from location at camp. Wop, wop, wop. And so it's going to be awesome. Again, let's give a shout out to our interns, Sandwich and Turd, and our homie Bryson. Woo! Hitting it up on the Olympic court, on the gymnastics court. So, hey, Awaken, stay classy. We'll see you tonight. God bless.
Yeah.
Peace out.